Oh gosh. Okay, let's check the stream and see where we are. All right, I think we are live. Oh gosh, where are we? My channel, videos. Oh my gosh. I think I'm live. Okay, good. Looks like we're live. All right, fair enough. Well, that being the case, I think I am going to play the intro music now while we wait for people to file in. So, here we go. 白岩学園3年 B 組の皆さん、こんにちは。Alright, hey, how's it going, guys? Alright, let's go ahead and transition. There we are. Hey guys, what's going down? Today's been one heck of a day, I tell you what. And I'm glad to be back into my normal streaming operations. This is much more comfortable for me. Even though it was fun to talk to other people, there's something about just sort of, you know, hanging out checking out the chat, and playing some music that I genuinely like. Sorry, today has been a bit of a day. I am going full Kevin McDonald. I totally did have a beer, so if I slur just a touch, I'm sorry. So there you go. Tonight is going to be a restful night. So there we are. Yes, I'm a degenerate. Okay, very good. At any rate, yeah, so today was a bit of a day. Without vlogging, I just want to go ahead and say I actually had a great time. I do actually regard the Halsey stream as largely a pillow fight, but it was a pillow fight that had a little bit to it. And even though on a superficial level, on a surface level, it was not entertaining, and I actually do understand that because the tone was very subdued, but I'm absolutely leaving that stream up, and the reason I'm leaving that stream up is because the entire point was the power of staying on point. If you stay on point, and let me rephrase that, if you establish a position that is unassailable, and if you just stay on that one point, you're fine. You're actually doing okay in general. Even though there have been some mentionings of how it's entirely possible that was sort of a kid glove fight, so to speak, which I largely agree with. Even within that context, I can't help but think that just in general, just staying on point helps you out a lot, because all I did was just stay on point. So all of that said, I did have a good time. It actually was enjoyable, and I'm glad that everyone stopped by, and there you go. That was actually the whole thing. And let's see here. Yeah, I don't actually have much for the night. I didn't have a chance to prepare any music for the night, so I kind of feel like I want to go through and just put together, sort of as I go along, some fun music. So I'm going to go ahead and get myself some music so we can listen to something amusing and interesting. And even though I can't actually play the video from any of the edits that I've done. Wait, no, actually I can. I can play some of the video. Oh, but it's got to be tiny, and that's not much fun to watch. Shoot. Maybe I won't. Never mind. Never mind. I'm not going to go for that. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and just play general music, because I like general music. And like I say, I'm just kind of wiped from the day, because apart from doing 3 streams, I also had just other activities that I had to do throughout the day. So even though when I was off stream it would have seemed like I was doing nothing, weirdly the entire time I was completely busy. So like back to back, like rather from my waking moment to now has been pretty much just solid activity. So again, if I come off as weird, it's just because no, I'm really freaking weird today. I'll be back to normal by tomorrow. At any rate, for the moment, I'm going to play some music while I kind of collect myself, and there we are. So here's some music from Air. This is from way back in the day. I think this is from the Virgin Suicides soundtrack, I think. That was a movie that was made by the chick who also did Lost in Translation, and also the Marie Antoinette one with Kirsten Dunst. And this soundtrack from the Virgin Suicides was put together by Air, the French band Air. So here we are. This track is entitled Bathroom Girl by Air. I didn't have a chance to adjust the volume, so it's just straight ahead. Whatever the volume levels are, that's what it is. So as per usual, rest in peace eardrums in 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh, I forgot to check the stream. Oh, son of a bitch. I haven't thought of that track in like so long. Sorry about that. Okay, there we are. Whew. All right. Getting some graham crackers and some banana and some peanut butter into the old system is working out. I can feel better already. Oh, there we are. And yeah, with regards to the Jack Posobiec? Posebich? Weird. I don't know how to pronounce that. At any rate. Yeah, that tweet is one hell of a thing. I've been thinking recently about the problems of infighting and the problems of purity spirals, and egad, it's a big giant ball of wax. And I can't help but think that there needs to be, I mean, it's so strange because it seems as though that what's his name again, Jack Posobiec, guys like, oh, here we are, Posobiec. Okay, good, nice. So that Posobiec guy, what is he? He's just your regular civnat, like, it's just some guy. And he regards white identity as something to be reviled or denounced. And the problem with this, in my opinion, still comes from the same place, which is that once you realize that we are being displaced in our own countries, you basically have no choice but to move directly into white identity. And then you have no choice but to say, well, let's just go ahead and not, succumb to gradual annihilation. I think that's natural. I think it's obvious. And to see that, to see someone applauding a bunch of other Civnash people excising in Ethnash who let's be fair, is probably of average intelligence, kind of silly. Perhaps he's emotionally aroused and saying weird things and behaving in a silly manner. Even with all of that, I can't help but think, you know what? Fuck it, whatever. Just let him do his thing. In exactly the same way that the blacks that have their whole thing about the police brutality. Yeah, okay, fine. There have been incidences of the police abusing people. I agree with that. That happens across the board, though, of course. Obviously, most police abuse happens to white people. But the point still stands. There is abuse. You know, hashtag not all police. On a net level, I do support the police, just in general. But at the same time, there is such a thing as police abuse. In exactly the same way as there is also the dispossession of white people in their own lands. So as far as I'm concerned, if a person is, advocating for a cause or whatever, let them do it. Just let them freaking do it. And if people like it, great. And if people don't like it, great. But just freaking let them do it. And to hear of that Posebek guy, retweeting that, it's like, oh my gosh, what a bummer, man. What a bummer. Anyway, all I can do is hope that there's something in the future that awaits us all that allows us to simply discuss our problems in such a way that we don't suffer violence, that we don't suffer economic terrorism and ostracization. Is that a word, ostracization? Probably is. If it's not, it is now, so there you go. It's just a bummer. Oh yeah, here we are. Go on to Norvin's stream. Eke doesn't have a topic tonight. Oh, it's true. It's completely true. I'm going to still stream anyway. Yeah, because if I, if I cuck relative to Norvin's stream, then so be it. He will have more viewers, and that is fine by me. At any rate, yeah, I think that we're going to have to do something about we're going to have to do something about getting people to be able to discuss these concepts on a larger level. And I had alluded to this earlier, I think. Did I in the Halsey stream, or did I do that in the Identity Europa stream? I think I alluded to it in the Identity Europa stream. Oh, you want me to let him in? Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't have the ability to, I still don't know how to get OBS to talk to Hangouts. I'm going to have to do another test tomorrow. When I do that, it'll just be a random test, but I'm going to go ahead and do a test. Hey, Norvin, how's it going, buddy? Yes, it is Boomer Tech. My apologies. Here, actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to, let's see here. I just want to see if I can, let's see, display, no. I think it would be display. It wouldn't be window. I think it would be display capture. Yeah, I'm not going to do a test now, but I think I have a gauge on what I'm going to do for tomorrow for my test. But at any rate, hey, Norvin Hobbs, at some point in the not too distant future, I'll totally have you on my stream, obviously, just as a point, just to do it. But because I'm complete boomer tech right now, and only barely awake because the day has been quite long, I'm sorry to say I just can't do it, so I'm sorry about that. At any rate, I think the next big thing is going to be, okay, so I was talking earlier about the concept of citizen being of import. However, in terms of real-world activities, I think I'd mentioned in the Identity Europa stream that we really ought to start thinking about the red pill being moved out into the real world in some way. The Identity Europa guy, Patrick Casey, he does like flyering and other such things. However, I think that it's so esoteric and abstract that he's not going to be able to get the point out effectively. I might tweet him about this just to kind of drive home the point. I really think that the idea of demographics, since that does seem to, because when I learned that whites were being dispossessed in their own countries, when I learned that the country from which my genetic line springs, Scotland, when I learned that Scotland was going to essentially become not Scotland in a little over 100 years, I was horrified. I didn't know what to do with myself for maybe a week or so. It was terrible. I think this is the direction to go. And I think this is what we should, in some way, start to push in the 3D world. Now, of course, I'm a big proponent of getting out and doing things. I'm a big fan of people. Of course, I say this as I'm in the middle of a stream. So, ha ha ha, I'm pointing at myself too. I'm a big fan of people getting off of streams and getting out into the 3D world. And I do think that the concept of demographics, if that really is sort of the magic red pill, we should push that. Maybe do some call-in shows. Maybe those public access, NPR, CNN, not CNN. Sorry, what is it? C-SPAN. Maybe we should do some call-in shows. Maybe we should get the numbers of these local news agencies, or again the TV cable access type stuff, and just push it. Just get the word out. I think that might be a good call. It's real world. It'll probably red pill at least someone. Consider if you tell it to a crowd of maybe 20 people. What if 3 of those people get formally red pilled? Okay, so you say it to 20 people. 17 people either dismiss you, or they call you a Nazi, or they call you hashtag racist, hashtag bigot, whatever. Okay, fine. Let them go. But what if 3 of those people get red pilled? You just red pilled 3 people. I think that's a good direction to move. So at the moment, I'm thinking about how one could find a way to move the red pill into the 3D world. At the moment, because of my short film project being basically complete, I don't have the ability to do anything with regards to injection of new concept into it without destroying it, so I'm not going to. But I might consider what it might be like to design a new project after this one that harkens to the idea, so that maybe it could be shared with other people. And then in the sharing with other people, perhaps, let's go with the same model of, what was it? Not 15%. 15% is really generous. 3 out of 20 would be 15%. I think that's a bit much to ask. Let's say that it was 5%. So let's say, hypothetical scenario, I created a video. Even 5% is probably a bit much, but yeah, I guess we'll go with 5%. Let's say that video was somehow disseminated to 1,000 people. 5%, that's what, 50 people? It's not bad. You keep scaling that up. 10,000 people, it's 500 people that you just red pilled. That's really good. I think that's probably the best idea with regards to throwing out media to get the red pill out there. You can talk to people individually, and talking to people individually is a really good idea. But media allows for you to get the same message out in a very nice, neat package to a lot of people. So I think I might try to, for my next project, design something that is referring to the demographic issue. Because just maybe, you know, I mean, again, 5% is generous, but let's just pretend that I was able to get it out to 100 people. It's 5 people. That's really good, you know? I think that's great. So I think that's the, or, you know, if 500 people see it, 25 people get red-pilled. Awesome. I think that's the direction that I want to go for now. I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and go up into chat for just a moment before I go on to my next track. Actually, no, you know what? I'm a little bit hungry, and I'm going to go ahead and get some peanut butter and crackers, because this is the perfect time to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and play a track. This is a cover of a track that a lot of people know. This track, rather the song, the tune, was famously used at the tail end of Full Metal Jacket, and I happen to like this particular cover of this rather famous track. So, rest in peace, eardrums, in 3, 2, 1... Oh man, I thought I had enough time to get a bite. And actually, oh, son of a gun. Alright, whatever. That didn't work out at all. Oh, gosh. Alright. So, at any rate. Yeah, it's my hope that perhaps we can find some way to get the word out. Because that guy, oh gosh, I forgot his pronunciation already. That was so much farther up into there. Where are we? The guy who did the tweet, whose name was, oh gosh, where are we? I know it's in here somewhere. Posebic. Yeah, guys like that who are essentially signaling against the idea of white identity. I think we just got to get the word out, because the sooner we can make it acceptable to say, you know, for example, it's okay to be white, or maybe we don't want to be displaced, the better. Because I'm going to be doing something in the not too distant future. It's not huge, but it's something. Interestingly, I had first heard about this from Norvin Hobbs, big shout to Norvin, about the idea of running for local office, and the point was reinforced when I later discussed it with Faustian Spirit. This gives me the idea that the concept is being discussed in multiple areas. There are lots of people talking about this, which, I mean, of course, I know I've only got 2 data points of Norvin and Faustian Spirit, but the point still stands. This is multiple people talking about the concept, and I can't help but think there's got to be more. There must be more. What is it? Okay, so here in Los Angeles, just up against Orange County, there's a city called Los Alamitos. And Los Alamitos was one of the cities that repelled, that is to say, acted against the sanctuary city status. This is great news. So the idea of going for direct political action, this exists, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I think we need, I mean, because if I'm going to do it, obviously it will only be symbolic. It's just so that I can say to someone, you know, when they say, oh my gosh, Eke, what are you doing? What's so important that you're spending your time on? if you want to, save the white race, what are you doing about it? I can at the very least say, look, at least I'm in office. It's symbolic, it's a token. It's nothing more than just a quick toss-off to say, look, I did this. It's something. And I think this is great in itself, but how much more powerful would it be if more people understood why? How much more powerful would it be if I said to, okay, so you go from saying this to a person who is one who doesn't understand the demographic shift. They say, what are you doing with yourself, Eke? And I say, well, I ran for office and I got a local seat, and it's not big, but it's something. And then they say, oh, okay, that's cool. And they don't care about the demographic shift. Now switch that over to a person who does care about the demographic shift. And they say, Eke, what are you doing with yourself? To which I say, well, I went ahead and ran for city office. It's local. It's not a big deal. There's not a lot of power to it. But I freaking ran and I won it. I got it. I'm in office. I can do stuff. And then this person who understands that the displacement of their people is on the line, they get to say to themselves, well, if Eke can do it, I can do it too. This is where the action is, I think. So, at any rate, these are the thoughts that are going through my mind for the moment. I would much prefer to be active than inactive. There is that stream that I did yesterday with Z-Man, and Z-Man was your typical boomer. He simply assumed that no matter what happened, everything was going to sort itself out. Everything was going to magically align in such a way that he would never have to lift his finger. He would never have to do anything but put out a podcast and say to himself, well, I put out my podcast, I did my thing, I'm going to go and settle down for a nice nap. That's bullcrap. We have to do something. We have to get out there. Things don't just magically turn out for the best because you want it to be the case. Someone has to do something. I want policies to exist that will create a situation such that my people will not go extinct. As per usual, that I know that sounds like hyperbole to some people, but to me it's real. And I think that this is a great concept. Get into power and actually do something, rather than boomer post and throw your hands up and say, oh, sent out my links to my podcast. And that's all I gotta do. No. We can't allow that to be the case. We just can't. Alright. I guess I want to play a track, and I'm looking for something, anything. I think because I just feel like it, this is a little more high energy than I'm feeling right now, but I want to play it because I just happen to like the track. So this is Waters of Nazareth by Justice. This is off of their, 2007? Gosh, that was well over a decade away. Oh my God, where does the time go? I remember when that was cutting edge. Okay, alright. This is Waters of Nazareth by Justice. Again, I did not manipulate the audio levels, so it's going to be a bit of a thing. That said, on 0, rest in peace eardrums. In 3, 2, 1... Oh, well, there we go. That was the end. All right. Good old Justice. I freaking love those guys. And for the sake of it, I do understand the problems with the audio. I still have much testing and work to do to make it go from being complete amateur, well, not even amateur, like just novice, up to something approaching listenable. I get it. I do get it. That's my bad. So at any rate, I think I'm going to get ready to play one more track, because why not? And this track, I want to see if I can, I think I can do it. Where are we? Okay, this is a bit of a thing. I hope that it works out. I'm not confident that it will, but I'm hoping that it will. This is something that I designed for a set that I put together one time back in 2017. No, gosh, no, it was 2016. That's right. Anyway, I put together a little set, which, you know, wasn't the most impressive thing in the world, but it was amusing to me at the time. And it was designed around Halloween. And one of the tracks that I decided to use, because, you know, it's Halloween, you're going to use Halloween-y music, so clearly you're going to do, like, Bouse and, who are those guys? Oh, no. It's a dead man's party, walking down the street. Oh, my God, what's the name of it? Oingo Boingo, there we are. Yeah, you know, you're just going to throw together stuff like that. And, of course, you know, White Zombie and all the rest. Yeah, and so naturally you come to 9 Inch Nails sooner or later. So I went ahead and put together a little edit of 9 Inch Nails that I happened to like. So yeah, just for the sake of it, I'm going to go ahead and play my my little edit, and I'm going to reduce the video quite a lot. So you're not going to see all of it. You're going to see the majority of it, but not all of it. But yeah, I just wanted to play some 9 Inch Nails. That's really what it comes down to. So there we are. All of that said, yeah, here's some 9 Inch Nails. Let's play some 9 Inch Nails. Let's go a step further. So here we go. All right. As per usual, rest in peace eardrums in 3, 2, 1.
It's a mistake. Pussy.
Oh! Pretty scary, ain't it, Thorne?
Yeah, right.
Stop right!
doesn't it make you feel better? The pigs have won tonight. They can all sleep soundly, and everything is alright.
Hey, I'm sorry. You said you heard something. How was I supposed to know what you meant? You should have said what you meant better. I don't know. I thought maybe it was a big bird or something.
You got that kid killed. Did you get a good look at it, huh? Did you get a good look at what you did?
Okay, that was the, I threw together some other, as a transition to something else that I forgot about. At any rate, I'm sure you get the idea. So, there we are. Good old 9 Inch Nails. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm aware of the copyright. I got a strike once from my original channel. And I'm pretty sure this one isn't going to get taken down because if you basically scale it down to almost nothing, the algorithm won't catch it. So, unfortunately, that means you have to scale it down to freaking nothing. What I'm probably going to end up doing is just burning the stream anyway. But yeah, I do understand it's invariably a big problem once you start to play anything. Oh my gosh. At any rate, oh no, what if I do get a strike on this? That would suck. I don't want to have to build up another channel. That'd be super lame. Let's see, it's July now. I have to go through August and September to get my original channel back. Yeah, maybe I won't do any more streaming with footage. Yeah, Norman, you're right. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I don't do any more streaming ever again with footage. Gosh, what a bummer. Alright, moving on. Let's see what's going on with the chat. Oh yeah, that's right. For my original channel, when it got the strike for footage, it happened mid-stream, so it actually happened while I was streaming. This suggests that I should be fine because I was able to play that. Okay, so it's probably okay. Alright, fair enough. I'll just make sure not to stream any more footage. Alright, moving on. Where are we? And yes, Rumsey, that movie actually is really good black and white. When I did... So I put together an edit of the movie, and when I put together the edit of the movie, I actually based it more off of the novella than I did the movie. Because as we all know, the movie has a radically different ending. And I decided that because I was playing this within the context of like a bar, that I wanted to put a less abrasive ending to the end of it. And I found that if I edited everything in a very particular way, there actually was enough footage to put together something that was in the spirit of the original ending. And anyone who doesn't know, that's the movie The Mist with, what's his name? Something Jane, Thomas Jane, I think his name is. And in the movie, basically, oh god, I can't really give it away, but okay, I'll give the novel ending. The novel ending ends with so all these critters, they come from another dimension and they terrorize a small town, and the townsfolk, they get trapped in a grocery store, and then the grocery store turns into just a horrible experience, and several of the townspeople, they want to get out. And then when they leave, what they end up finding is that the little critters, they've gone not just into the town, but in fact outside of the town, and way outside of the town. So the implication is that these critters have probably taken over the United States, if not the planet. And the ending of the novella is that these people, they are driving their car and they happen upon a cliff, and they stop the car, and then they look up and they realize that that cliff is actually the foot of some gargantuan monster that is so tall it's difficult to see the top of it, and the novella ends there. And I found that in the movie The Mist, if you edit the existing footage in a very specific way, you can actually get an ending that looks a lot like that. So that's what I did, just as a thing to do, because why not? What are you going to do? And yeah, I really did like that movie. It was actually really cool. It was a lot of fun to watch. I have it somewhere on my hard drive still. Okay, where are we? I'm going to go a little further up in the chat and see where we are. Let's see here. Possert74 says, you aren't going to get an argument from me on it. I don't go in it for the world cabal stuff because I honestly don't care who it is. If it wasn't them, it'd be someone else. Oh, that's funny. Possert has a view that I used to have a little while ago, and suddenly I find myself wondering if maybe my view is a little outdated. Tough to tell. Very tough to tell. Let's see here. HIV positive transgender says, Halloween kind of sucks in California though. The atmosphere climate doesn't fit. I completely agree. I totally agree. This is a problem that we have here in California. There are basically 2 seasons. And the 2 seasons are like summer and late fall. And that's it. We don't really have, I mean, we kind of have a winter for like a couple of months in like February. The temperature will get all the way down at night at times to freezing. At times. It's only gone sub-freezing a few times that I can recall, but it does get to the mid-30s, which of course here in California that's horrible, because in California no one has any proper clothing, any cold weather clothing. We get so used to 70-degree weather that the majority of what we wear, the majority of the stuff that we just have in our closets are basically t-shirts and jeans, and that's it. You have a jacket for like the 3 days of the year that you actually do need formally an actual jacket. So you'll notice that people who have been in California, like a person that comes from out of state, they'll come to California and they won't think it's a big deal for the first couple of years. And then as their clothing and wardrobe changes, as they slowly get so accustomed to the weather here, out of nowhere they become hypersensitive to the cold, like all of us in California are. So anytime it gets into the 30-degree area, we're like, oh my god, it's so cold, what are we gonna do? Meanwhile, like the Midwest, there are certain sections where it gets down to like sub 0 degrees, Fahrenheit, -10 degrees, and it's like, okay, well, we don't have to deal with that, we're actually doing okay. But it's just funny, yeah. And you're right, HIV positive transgender. It's super lame that, yeah, there are like a couple of streets in Los Angeles where we do have deciduous trees, so you can get like a hint, a taste of what it's like to have the classic New England Halloween experience. But for the most part, we don't actually have it. It's too bad. It kind of sucks. I wish we did have proper seasons here. But what are you gonna do? It's where we are. Let's see here. Oh gosh, what are we talking about here? Students hate Trump SCOTUS pick. Don't realize he hasn't made it yet. Video by Campus Reform. Oh, no way. Oh, I gotta check that out. Okay, I'm totally gonna check that out. Campus Reform. Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do it now. I kind of want to though. Alright, I'm just going to give it a quick look-see. Just a quick look-see, just because I want to see what's going on. Alright, Campus Reform. Campus Reform. Boom. And let's see. Oh, wow. That's awesome. I'm not going to actually play the video at all. But it's funny. You can see by the body language what these people are probably saying. It's so funny. I gotta check that out as soon as the stream is done. All right, so we've got it's my time, 11:54. So we are approaching the 1 hour mark. Because I've done like 4 streams today, this being number 4, I think I want to go ahead and call it, because I kind of want to get some sleep. Today has been one hell of a day for me. And I kind of want to get some sleep. So I think that's the direction that I'm going to go. I really want to check out the chat and see what's in here, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah, there is. There are people like talking about things. Oh man, what a bummer. What a bummer. All right, well, at any rate, I think I am going to call the stream though, because I really am like formally exhausted. Even though it's not a big deal. But the Halsey stream, I actually did do a fair amount of preparation, and all of my preparation had very little to do with facts and figures, and it had everything to do with framing everything in a particular way. So all of that mental energy just kind of wiped me out. You know, it's kind of like dealing with chess openings. Once you start to figure out the general path, you have to start accounting for like permutations, and that's really where the energy expense comes from. It's trying to make sure that the general opening that you're using, you'll be able to manipulate the permutations in such a way that at the very least you can secure a draw, and at best you can secure a win. So that was really where all of my energy expense came from, and that's why I'm just so tired. So, at any rate, T. Possard says, shake it off and keep working. Yeah, well, easy for you to say, man. I was doing that way back at 10 a.m. in the morning. Here it is, approaching midnight, so we're talking about a clean 16 hours of, yeah, sure, I took breaks here and there, but not as many as I would like, I'll tell you what. Anyway, maybe I'll go ahead and, yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and set it up for the last track. So I want to thank everyone for popping by. I'm sorry that I didn't throw together a proper set list. I'm sorry that I didn't get together a topic, and I'm sorry that I didn't get the audio levels proper. Like tomorrow I'm going to have the whole day to be able to throw together a set and to manipulate the audio levels so that they're not too grating, so that there isn't too big of a jump. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and remember rule number 1, treat every firearm like it's loaded. Rule number 2, never cover or sweep anything that you're not willing to destroy. Rule number 3, your finger stays off of the trigger until your sights are on target. And the 4th and final rule is, be aware of your target and what's beyond it. Safety first. And so, I'm going to go and brush my teeth. And then I'm going to floss, because that's what people do. Drink a tall glass of water and get some exercise. Thank you again, everyone, for popping by. I know that this is a tiny stream, but I actually really I really do enjoy these little streams. I think they're great fun. So thank you again, everyone, for participating. And with that, we will end it with Nassim. So there we are. Rest in peace, eardrums. In 3, 2, 1...